Welcome to American Pulse. Tonight we have a very special episode about nonprofit organization, about fighting cancer, about Joseph Ahmed Foundation. I will talk to you more about this foundation, but this is a very young man who lost his life to cancer, a pediatric children cancer. To be exact, it's called Ewing sarcoma. His parents, who is an Egyptian father and an American Spanish mother, decided to form this foundation to help the research of this disease and try to get people to doctors to learn more about this disease, and hopefully they can find a cure. Let's come in and see how many people are willing to give both money and time, their thoughts, their experience, their professions, their professional opinions to help out this foundation and other foundations in trying to find a cure to the Ewing sarcoma, or a very rare type of cancer that affects the children. I think it's time for the world to know that's not really about wars and about conquering and about trying to take advantage of each other. I think the real war should be in science. You know, countries would try to fight each other or compete against each other in science and in research and trying to find a cure for rare diseases, try to alleviate the pain and the misery from children and their families. Joseph Foundation, let's come in and see what happens today.
We are so glad to share it with you. We are reaching new horizons in our fight against pediatric cancer. And tonight, we come together not only as friends, family, and colleagues, but as an army fighting a war against pediatric cancer. Tonight, we come together to support, encourage, and our brave warriors fighting this horrible disease. We come together to raise their spirits, fill them with hope. Tonight, we reminisce, love, and honor the legacy of our courageous Asian warriors. It is for them, and because of them, that we forge ahead in the fight against pediatric cancer. And we will not stop. We will bridge the gap in the current allocated treatment for Ewing sarcoma and other pediatric cancers. Tonight, we not only embrace our warriors, we embrace our warriors' families, for they are fighting the battle of their own. Ladies and gentlemen, no child, parents, sister, or brother should feel like they are fighting this battle alone. We are never alone. We are certainly not alone tonight. With humble gratitude, we would like to thank our sponsors, donors, colleagues, family, friends, and community supporters for helping us bring this very special evening to life. We would also like to express heartfelt thanks to the ninth honorees for contribution, love, and support to the pediatric cancer community. Without your generous love and support, none of this would have been possible. Together, we are making waves. Together, we are making a difference. Together, we can win this war against pediatric cancer. We celebrate our warriors, our angels, and our community. We celebrate this night for you, Joseph. Let's light up the light. Thank you.
أندي طبعا النهارده يعني كان يوم ناجح جدا. انا عارف ان طبعا اوقات عصيبه بالنسبه لك، لكن حدثنا شويه عن جوزيف فاونديشن اللي انت عملتها على اسم ابنه.
جوزيف أحمد فاونديشن عملناها أنا وزوجتي بعد سنتين من وفاة يوسف ابني الله يرحمه.
الله يرحمه.
السبب ان احنا عملنا الفاونديشن ان جوزيف لما جاله المرض ده، مرض
ايوينج ساركوما، وهو دوت مرض سرطان نادر جدا.
نادر جدا، ما عليهوش اي ابحاث من شركات الادويه لانهم بيحاولوا يوفروا فلوس، ما بيعملوش فلوس لو عملوا ابحاث. فما كانش فيه دواء او علاج ليه في مستشفى سلون كيترينج. كانوا بيعالجوه بكيموثيرابي
كيماوي
سنه، عمرها 30 سنه، علاج الكيماوي 30 سنه معمول من 30 سنه، فما كانش ليه علاج اصلا. فاحنا قررنا ان احنا ننشئ الشركه دي ونخلي مهمتنا الاساسيه والاولانيه البحث عن علاج للمرض ده. والحمد لله احنا بقى لنا سنتين، دي تاني سنه بنعمل الجاله دي. اتعاوننا مع ناس اطباء باحثين متخصصين في امراض الورم او امراض السرطانيه، بنقول عليها انكولوجيست. فالدكتوره معانا اسمها دكتور جانيت استيجا، دي كانت مديره مستشفى داون تاون هوسبيتال في نيويورك سيتي. هي اللي بتشرف على الابحاث معانا. والحمد لله من حوالي شهرين او 3 ابتدينا نتعاون مع شركه اسمها تايم، شركه ادويه. عندهم دواء تجريبي غير توكسيك، غير مسمم، على زي مثلا الكيمو، العلاج الكيماوي. فحتى الدواء دوت ان شاء الله لو استعملناه على حد مش هيأثر عليهم سلبيا.
لو ما فاتش مش هيضر.
بالظبط. فدي طبعا خطوه كبيره وخطوه عظيمه بالنسبه لنا وبالنسبه للفاونديشن، ان احنا يكون عندنا دواء ومستعدين نجربه اوريدي على عينه من الشباب ومن الاطفال. اللي حصل ده توفيق من عند ربنا، لان عامه ما فيش اي فاونديشن زينا بتعمل ابحاث او بيشرفوا على الابحاث نفسهم. عامه الفاونديشنز دي بتتجمع وبتلم تبرعات، والتبرعات دي بتروح لمستشفيات او مراكز ابحاث. انما احنا لما تعاملنا مع دكاتره من يمكن انت قابلت دكتور تشاولا ودكتور تراكمان، فوجئوا ان احنا عايزين نعمل الابحاث دي بنفسنا، وقالوا ان مفيش حد بيعمل الحاجات دي، وهم كانوا مبسوطين من الموضوع ده، ان احنا مركزين وعايزين نعمل ابحاث بنفسنا ونشرف عليها. وده اللي حصل وبيحصل دلوقتي. في اوريدي خطوات معينه.
ده اللي هسأله بقى، ايه الخطوات بقى اللي خدتها وايه الخطوات القادمه؟
الخطوات اللي احنا واخدينها ان احنا دلوقتي حددنا مين اللي هيشرف على الكلينيكال ترايل او التجربه السريريه اللي احنا بنقول عليها بالعربي. دكتور تشاولا من كاليفورنيا ومتخصص في الابحاث دي، وعمل تجارب قبل كده على ادويه معينه. انما الدواء ده اول مره هيجربه على مرض الساركوما اللي هو مرض سرطان العظم. دكتور دراكمان من نيويورك من نيوجيرسي بالتحديد برضه هيكون مشرف هنا على التجربه في الساحل الشرقي.
هل عندك امال ان التجربه دي تمتد لمصر؟
احنا نتمنى طبعا، لان ساعه ما فكرت في حاجه زي دي انا فكرت برضو زي ما بفكر في اطفال هنا بفكر في اطفال في مصر. لان الواحد يعني اطفال بلدي، وعارف ان ما عندهمش فرصه كبيره زي اطفال اللي موجودين في امريكا. اطفال اللي موجودين في امريكا عندهم فرص كتيره للعلاج وطرق ومستشفيات متقدمه وابحاث. اطفال مصر يمكن على العكس، يمكن في مستشفى واحده بس اللي موجوده، انما مش كفايه. فاحنا يا ريت نقدر نعمل تجربه سريريه هناك بالتزامن مع التجارب اللي احنا هنعملها هنا، ودي حاجه متوافق عليها اوريدي، والدكاتره اللي بيشرفوا عليها دكاتره محترمين وليهم تاريخ ومعروفين وعندهم شهادات وصلاحيات وتجارب كتير زي اللي انت حضرتك قابلتهم من النهارده برضه.
ايه طموحك في السنوات القليله القادمه للفاونديشن؟
ان شاء الله في السنوات القليله القادمه هنكون وصلنا لعلاج ان شاء الله، طبعا باذن الله نحدد العلاج ونقدر نشفي اطفال. لو شفينا طفل واحد او خففنا المه حتى، يعني بغض النظر عن ان احنا هنشفيه، احنا مش آلهة عشان نطول عمر حد، انما احنا المرض ده للاسف بيسبب الام فظيعه والمرضى بيتعرضوا لكميات كبيرة جدا من مسكن الآلام لدرجة أنها بتموت أعضاء الجسم من كترها. فإحنا لو لقينا علاج للموضوع ده، للمرض ده، وخففنا بس آلام الأطفال، بلاش نطول عمرهم بس نخفف الآلام دي عنهم، دي حاجة جميلة. لو خففنا 1 أو 2 أو 3 أو 10، الأمل إن احنا نخفف كل الناس يا ريت. فأملنا بالظبط إن احنا نوصل علاج ونعمل له تطبيق عملي وننجح فيه، إنه يبقى علاج موجود يعني في اختيار جديد لمرضى السرطان اللي هم
مجهود رائع، وطبعا فكر نبيل وفيري نوبل منك انك بتحاول تشيل المعاناة من على الأسر التانية، المعاناة النفسية والمادية والذهنية اللي انت مريت بيها. طبعا أوقات عصيبة جدا، ربنا ما يعيدها يعني، وربنا يرحمه. يعني برافو ان انت بتحاول تدي للكوميونتي وتحاول تحافظ على الناس وتديهم فرص انت يمكن لم تتاح لك في الوقت اللي انت كنت محتاجه.
بالظبط. احنا لما كان جوزيف مريض لقينا ناس جت من كل اتجاه ومن كل صوب ومن كل دين ومن كل ملة، وما كانوش يعرفونا وساعدونا ووقفوا جنبنا وساعدونا ماديا ومعنويا مش بس بالكلام. فطبعا لما
مهم النقطة دي اللي انت قلتها، ان الناس هنا يعني إلى حد كبير ما بتهتمش بقى انت مين ومنين ومرجعياتك ايه وعقيدتك ايه والكلام ده، يعني هو بيهتموا بالنفس البشرية.
بالظبط. احنا كلنا هنا يعني الحمد لله بنتعامل بني ادمين مع بعض بغض النظر عن الدين والخلفية والعرق. الناس هنا ما حدش سأل احنا مين، ولا مسلمين ولا مسيحيين ولا يهود، وكل الناس اللي ساعدونا يهود مسيحيين وفي مسلمين طبعا. اكتر من كده ان الجاليه اللي احنا بنقول عليها اجنبيه، بس هم دول جيراننا والجاليه بتاعتنا هنا في امريكا، لان احنا عايشين في امريكا. هم اللي وقفوا معانا ابتداء من الحكومات المحليه للشعب، للمدرسه اللي احنا كنا بنودي فيها جوزيف، للحي اللي احنا عايشين فيه، الجيران، الكنيسه، المعبد. الناس دي جات لنا منهم شيكات عشان يساهموا في علاج يوسف، لان العلاج عن طريق التامين اللي كان عندنا ما كانش كفايه، في كوبي وفي ديدكتبل وفي ادويه، ودكاتره ما بيقبلوش التامين، فلازم نروح وندفع تكاليف مهوله. فمرضى السرطان بيتعرضوا يعني طبعا لضغوط ماديه فظيعه، بغير الضغوط اللي هي المرضيه نفسها.
يعني أشكرك جزيلا إنك اتحت لنا الفرصة إن نحضر حاجة جميلة وفيري نوبل زي كده، وإن شاء الله السنة الجاية في تقدم، ويبقى أحلامك بتتحقق ونلاقي كيور يعني شفاء لهذا المرض يعني.
إن شاء الله. أنا شاكر طبعا تحت الفرصة ليا والمجموعة اللي عملت انترفيو معك وتغطيتك للجالة دي وللفاونديشن بتاعتنا، لأن دي حاجة هتساعدنا إن شاء الله في المستقبل. وبإذن الله طبعا المرة الجاية نتقابل، ممكن نكون لقينا فعلا علاج، لأن ده الأمل عندنا وإحنا متمسكين بيه، ويعني مش هنسيبه غير لما ربنا بقى يختارنا.
إن شاء الله ربنا يديك حسب سؤل قلبك. أشكرك، وإن شاء الله السنة الجاية نيجي ونغطي برضو ويبقى في أخبار أحسن
إن شاء الله. إن شاء الله بإذن الله.
3,000 miles to be here with us tonight. Somebody actually came across the country to be here tonight. I don't use the word amazing that much, but that's pretty amazing. He actually drove here. Okay. All right, so listen, the guy's name is Dr. Sant Shaula. I hope I pronounced his name correctly, Dr. Shaula, actually. Shaula. So, Dr. Shaula, yes, he is from California. He's from the West Coast. He came out to visit us here in New Jersey. A little bit about his background. Dr. Shaula is a leader in the medical treatment of clinical research for bone and soft tissue sarcoma and sarcoma therapy. He's a pioneer physician whose work in sarcoma oncology has brought in several accolades and recognition as one of the world's leading authorities in medical treatment and clinical research of sarcomas. He's also the founder of the Sarcoma Oncology Research Center in Santa Monica, California, which, by the way, is one of the most sought-after research centers
in the treatment of sarcomas. A native of this country of India, Dr. Chawla received his medical degree and completed his residency, and then followed up a fellowship in medical oncology as a fellow in the Royal Australasian College in Sydney, Australia. Dr. Chawla then completed a second oncology, guess where? Houston, Texas.
Thank you so much. I wish my mother was here to hear all this. By the way, Frank is right. I was born in India. And since I'm going to, but Frank is right. I didn't come from California. I came from Rajasthan, India. And I'll tell you a little story before we start, but thank you very much for inviting me and Junie and Frank and Time and everybody for this gala. I'm really honored. So I grew up in India, in a remote area of India, and there were hardly any educated people. My father was the first one teacher. And when I was about 10 years old, my father always read about the news about America and all these things. And my father always said, you must go to America. And my mother was not educated at all. She didn't even know how to sign. And she kept asking my father, you keep talking about America, America, where is America? So my father was an educated man, so he started explaining, you know, the earth is round. And my mother honestly started crying. And my father says, what's wrong with you? She says, you are sending my son to the bottom of the earth. After I graduated medical school, came to MD Anderson, settled here, my parents came with me. And she was a lovely lady. She didn't speak English, but knew more than what people talking about. One time, my father and my mother were a little bit arguing on the television, and she didn't understand English. And I said, why are you fighting? My father said, I want to watch this religious show, and your mother wants to watch some American show. And I asked my mom, what do you want to see? She said, I want to watch Dallas and RJ. Besides that, whatever happens in our life happens for the best. We have reached almost zenith of surgery, radiation therapy, and chemotherapy. I wholeheartedly request all of you to support this foundation, and we will cure these patients. Thank you so much.
Chawla, nice to meet you, and a great speech you just gave inside.
Thank you, Dr. Morgan. It's an honor and a privilege to be here.
Thank you very much for also helping the Joseph Foundation. Can you tell me, how did you hear about the foundation and how did you get involved?
This foundation involves the curing Ewing sarcoma. As you know, Ewing sarcoma is a cancer of the young people, which we cure in about 2/3 of the patients, and in 1/3 we still have to cure. These are the young patients between the age of 15 to 30 years of age. And the standard treatment is chemotherapy. We are working to find some metabolic pathway, anti-angiogenic drugs, precision medicines, and immunotherapy drugs. And we're partnering with one of the company, Time, where combination of 4 drugs will be done in a form of clinical trial as a maintenance in the patients with the Ewing sarcoma, keeping them in remission.
How confident and how is your comfort level on finding a cure for this disastrous disease?
I'm very confident, because if you take 100 Ewing sarcoma patients, 50 years ago, 100% died. we now cure completely about 60 to 75%. So we are working on another 1/3 to 1/4 of the patients. The tumor still responds, but keeps relapsing. And we are hoping that we will find some metabolic pathway, anti-angiogenic pathway, or immunotherapy to cure this deadly disease.
How many people that you need in a group study to form this kind of research that you have?
It's a rare cancer, and we usually need about 50 to 100 patients for the effective therapy to show that it is working.
Will you be able to collaborate with other parts of the world? Like, let's say, for instance, if we get Egypt involved in this, would you be able to accept specimens and things from Egyptians who have the same disease?
So the treatment and clinical trials are no barrier to any country, any race, any sexes. These rare tumors occur in all over the world, and we will accept the patients for treatment from all over the places. Of course, we have to have centers for those studies, but if the patients comes from Egypt or South America, Asia, India, Africa, we'll be treat them irrespective of this place. As far as my center is concerned, if patient cannot afford, we will not charge them. We'll take care of them free.
Oh, that's very nice. How can we go about that? Do we connect directly with you, or how or they go through the foundation?
No, you can directly go through my office. My center is called Sarcoma Oncology Center in Santa Monica. There is a website, sarcomaoncologycenter.com, and whoever the patient needs to be treated can just directly contact us.
This is very nice and very noble from you. God bless you.
Thank you.
Okay. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Sylvia Nafchi, and I do not have a speech prepared, but I'd like to throw a number at you. 2,221. That's exactly how many days have passed since I was diagnosed. I am in remission, and I wanted to simply say that there is hope. Hope for everybody. Tonight I am delighted to introduce Dr. Peter D. Cole, who has returned to the Rutgers Cancer Institute of New Jersey as Embrace Kids Foundation Endowed Chair in Pediatric Hematology Oncology and Chief of the Division of Pediatric Hematology and Oncology. He is also a professor in the Department of Pediatrics at Rutgers Robert Wood Johnson Medical School. The division is committed to providing outstanding care to children, adolescents, and young adults with cancer and blood disorders. Dr. Cole's vision is for the continuation and advancement in the field through a combination of laboratory and clinical research, making treatments more successful and less toxic for our young youth. Dr. Cole studied medicine at Weill Cornell College of Medicine and completed his residency training in pediatrics at Mount Sinai Medical Center. His fellowship training in pediatric hematology and oncology was at Memorial Sloan Kettering Cancer Center. While there, he also trained in laboratory science, working in molecular pharmacology under the mentorship of Dr. Joseph R. Bertoni. Please give a round of applause for Dr. Cole.
Thank you very much for that introduction. That was very nice. So I didn't travel quite as far as our last speaker. You heard that I did a lot of my training in New York City. I actually grew up in New York City. So I guess one similarity is that those of you who know people who grew up in New York, we tend to also think of ourselves as being on the top part of the world, and moving across the Hudson to New Jersey for a New York City kid is psychologically not so dissimilar to moving to the bottom of the world. Although it turns out there's a lot that's really nice about New Jersey, but who knew? No, I'm actually really excited to be here. I'm excited to be working at Rutgers at the Cancer Institute in New Jersey. This is really a very exciting time in cancer research and cancer care. Every time we turn around, there's a new approach, a new class of treatments. At the Cancer Institute in New Jersey, as an NCI-designated comprehensive cancer center, we're able to offer some of the newest cutting-edge therapies to children with cancer, whether it's immunotherapy, precision targeted therapies, or new therapies that are targeting metabolic changes that are unique to cancer cells. We're able to offer those to children with cancer. And the laboratory science that's going on these days at the Cancer Institute in New Jersey and at other places, we're learning so much more about the biology of cancer, of patients, of people who get cancer. They're helping us design new therapies that we're really excited will be game changers. Clearly, though, we're not there yet. All of this excitement, and we're still not curing everybody. And we still have a long way to go. Even among our patients who are cured, they're the first to tell us that our current therapies are awful. They have terrible side effects, and some of the side effects that we cause can last for years after the successful treatment of cancer. So we're desperately in need of new therapies and new treatments so that we can cure everybody who is afflicted by this terrible disease and do it in a way that doesn't turn their lives upside down and their families' lives with side effects and the emotional and physical costs of therapy. The only way we can do that, though, is by partnership, is by working together in big teams. Just the same way that taking care of a patient, a family, takes a big team, nurses, social workers, pharmacists, physicians, we all have to work together, and the parents too. There's a lot to do when you're the parent to participate in the care of a child who's ill. Similarly, research can't be done by scientists hidden away in the lab alone. We need to partner laboratory scientists with clinical researchers. And none of that can happen without partnering with groups like the foundation, with the Time company. We need to partner so that we can hear what we should be focusing on, what our goals are, and to support each other. And only through this kind of partnership and this kind of support can we begin to approach our goals with hope, and our goal of providing more hope. So that's why I'm really so excited to be here and to enter into a new partnership, and so we can be a team together to continue to fight cancer, fight for children who suffer from cancer and their families. So thank you very much. I really appreciate the opportunity to be here, and I appreciate your support.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Barbara Privasti, and it is an honor for me to introduce our next speaker of the evening, Bob Hugo. Bob is the founder, president, and executive director of the Francis Foundation for Kids Fighting Cancer. The Francis Foundation has a focused, devoted commitment to bring smiles to kids fighting cancer. The foundation strives to alleviate a child's pain and suffering with a special gift, a special gesture, or even a few special moments. The foundation also provides important financial assistance to impoverished families desperately needing assistance due to their child's fight. During the last 14 years, over $2 million has been distributed to their courageous warriors, heroic angels, and their families. Yeah. Bob has been the recipient of numerous honors and awards for his tireless efforts and his huge heart. Among the awards, the Dean Michael Clarizio Cancer Foundation 2014 Distinguished Service Award, Monmouth Ocean Development Council Silver Gull Community Service Award, and the Homedale Kiwanis Foundation's 2009 Humanitarian of the Year. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Bob Hugel.
I'm going to steal a line from the good doctor. I wish my mother heard that. My mom was Frances. Our foundation's named after my mom. My mom was taken by cancer way too young. And she was a beautiful woman who just gave her heart to everyone. And that was the power behind starting the Frances Foundation. And I thank for those kind words. We're motivated to personally, compassionately give to the kids and their families whatever they need, whenever they need it. I'm a little embarrassed and humbled by all those awards, but they're not possible unless you have a great team behind you. And I have, with the Frances Foundation, one heck of a team, starting with my wife, Maria, Libby DeSico, Patty Tucker, John Riley. They're all my team, my trustees back there tonight. I also want to acknowledge we have a few of our warriors here tonight. We have our warrior Logan, we have our warrior Jackson, we have our warrior Kiana. Why don't you stand up, guys? It's been 14 years. It's 14 years of giving the best love and comfort and hugs that we can give any way we can. But tonight's not about the Frances Foundation. Tonight's about the Joseph Ahmad Foundation. I had the privilege, and I mean privilege, of meeting Joseph and his best friend. I met him up at the Matawan track. And in those moments, that young man impressed me, immensely impressed me. I think it's a shame that we're still at the place where we don't have a cure for sarcomas. At the same time, when I walk in here tonight and I see Joseph's parents, it's Joseph giving us the power, and that is why you are here tonight. Joseph has given us the power to do something about it. Think about that. Why are you here tonight? You are here tonight to support the Joseph Ahmad Foundation. What does that mean? That means you got to give power to the word hope. Hope is only a word. But you here tonight, what you hear tonight and what you feel tonight, is the most important thing. You are the ones who give the power to the word hope. How do you do that? By supporting Joseph's family, by supporting their foundation, by talking to your friends about bringing more people here next year, by giving what you can tonight. You empower the word hope. And what's the word hope mean? It gives hopes to these kids. You're making Joseph's life so meaningful, so powerful. And that is what it's all about. Excuse me, just 1 second. Just bear with me 1 second, please. This young man is what tonight is all about. He is the reason why we're here. He is the reason why the Joseph Amant Foundation was created. And he's the reason why you are going to do something about it by giving meaning to the word hope by giving. You have to give to make it worthwhile. Let's stop the cancer. Let's give hope to the kids. And what I ask right now is, let's thank Joseph for him giving his legacy. His legacy is the word hope for us to make it happen. Let's hear it for Joseph. Come on, everybody. Let's hear it for Joseph. This is what tonight is about. It's Joseph and the foundation.
Well, I listened carefully to your speech, and you had mentioned so many things about Frances, your mom, and the reason why you started all this foundation. So if you can give us a little bit of an idea of what's happening there.
There's a saying that all roads lead to love. And that's where my mother has led us to, and that's where the Frances Foundation is. To see a kid suffer just stinks, and it's horrible. And we want to do everything we can to help that child that's fighting cancer. In the middle, it's a nightmare. It's a nightmare for the families. And it was the power of my mother, how she loved kids and kids loved her, where there's a lot of other charities, but I like to think that what we do is unique. And what I mean by that is we get personal with the kids. We get to know them. We hug them. We love them. We send them on sporting goods trips. We send them to Broadway. We give birthday parties for them. We have 5 families going to see the Mets game tomorrow night.
Amazing.
I have another Warrior, 15-year-old Dylan, we're sending to the New York Giants game on Sunday. A couple of weeks ago, we sent one of our Warriors to go meet Ojo Beckham. But we do all sorts of things, whatever the kids like the most. And if we find out a child like what Joey went through, this is the Joseph Amant tonight. If we find out a child is going to hospice, we will do anything in the world for them.
This is how you learned about Joseph.
That's how I learned about Joseph. I heard about Joseph's fight, and Joseph was having a fundraiser up at the Mattawan track, and I said I got to go meet Joseph, and I went and met Joey, and I hugged him. And I said, I'm praying for you, and I'm going to help you. I'm going to do everything we can. And that's how I met Joey, and that's how I met his mom and dad. And Joey has become a part of our family. Joey will always be a member of the Frances Foundation family.
It's amazing. You mentioned something that really caught my attention is no matter how much work you've done, it was a great thing, but having a team to support the work you're doing was very integral and important for your work.
That is correct. No one can do it alone. And to do it right and to do it well, you need a great team around you. You need people that are willing to work, people that get it, people that want to give for the sake of giving, not people who want to get a pat on the back, not people who want fame, not people who want awards, people who give for the sake of giving because it's the right thing to do. And I have a great, great team. I got a board of trustees, I got volunteers that support our mission, and they're in it for the kids.
You should be very proud of what you're doing. I'm so amazed at your speech. I'm so amazed at the work that you're doing. God bless you, and God bless America, and God bless all the people that help others.
Well, that's absolutely right. I appreciate your compliments, but it's all about the kids. And my biggest joy is when a kid with cancer gives me a hug. And I'll tell a quick little story. In about a month, we have our gala. We're going to have 50 pediatric cancer families at our gala that we treat to that night. And each kid gets to have one song where they come on up. They're our honorees. We don't honor the politicians. We don't honor the bank presidents. We honor the kids.
Amazing.
Because that's the night. So each kid gets a song that comes on up. So each kid, because I have 50 kids there, only gets to say one word. So this little boy comes up to me and says, Mr. Yulkel, can I say 2 words? And I said, sure. He takes the mic and says, thank you.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
That's what it's about. How they make you feel.
It's
and for a kid with cancer to say thank you. And I have some great stories. Next time you're in town, let's get together, and I'll tell you stories about Bon Jovi surprising one of our moms. I'll tell you a story about how we sent a warrior out to see his favorite band, 9 Inch Nails. I've been blessed. I don't want to get too crazy on you, but I've been blessed with some angels that have come and said, keep up doing the good work. And
you're enjoying giving, and I can see it. I can see it in your eyes. I can see it in your spirit. It's amazing.
It's a passion. It's a passion. It's a passion that drives me, that I love giving to these kids.
God bless you, man.
Right?
God bless you.
Thank you for being here tonight. And thank
my
you for this. And God bless Egypt. And there's going to be a day when there's peace everywhere.
We have to see that day very soon.
We all want that day. There is no reason why we can't live together, eat together, and help each other all across the world. That's what
absolutely.
We want. All right? God bless you guys too. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Bob. This was amazing. Oftentimes I shy away from standing in front of you because it gets very emotional for me. As you could understand, as a mother who lost, as parents who lost their child, it's not always easy to talk about our children and what they went through and be able to continue working towards the mission that Joseph has empowered us to do, which is hope. So I thank you very much for being here tonight. Now, it is with great pleasure that I'd like to introduce our honoree of the night, Steve Hoffman. Steve is the co-founder and CEO of Time, Inc. In 2008, Steve marshaled more than 30 years of experience in biochemistry and physics, focusing on new approaches in biopharmaceuticals for oncology, metabolic syndrome, and central nervous system disorders. He is the lead author of over 40 patents and has worked with multiple Fortune 500 companies, academic institutions, and the U.S. government in the fields of chemistry, aerospace, and laser optics. Steve's current work developing innovative treatments for metastatic cancer is a refreshing and patient-centric approach in the cancer innovation space. We are honoring Steve tonight because Steve brings hope, the hope that we're talking about, the work that he's doing, the partnering that we're doing with the Joseph Hoffman Foundation. That is all about hope. And I am very grateful to be able to partner with Time and Dr. Chawla in the new endeavors. Please join me in welcoming Ben Taylor, President and CFO of Time, who will receive this award on Steve's behalf. Thank you, Ben.
Well, first of all, I have to actually start out with 2 apologies. One, those of you who know Steve Hoffman know he's about 50 pounds heavier than me, and almost all of that's in his biceps. So I am not Steve Hoffman, and he regretfully couldn't make it because he actually had a passing in his family earlier this week. My second apology is almost word for word, Dr. Chawla took my speech, except that I was born in Bangalore instead of Rajasthan. But I'll wing it because there's actually been some fantastic things that we've heard here tonight. And really going back to that message of hope and that message of inspiration, because Steve is someone who is so inspired. The journey of cancer has a lot of ups and downs, but inspiration is a part of that. Steve founded Time because one of his friends had metastatic cancer. And he said, I am not going to let you die. I'm going to do everything that I can to help you. And that started us on this journey. And he has taken that out of his own mind, his own pocket, his own power, to bring that to hundreds of people and try and help them as well. And we are all coming together now to try and carry that forward to as many people as possible. We were absolutely honored to be able to try and help Joseph in his journey. And we are indebted to the Ahmed family for being so supportive of us all throughout the journey. But what I think it really comes down to is we can make a difference. Every individual person taking that hope is not just something that makes you feel better. It's something that you can do something with. And you impact people's lives. You may not know how you're going to impact someone's life, but you will. And so taking that home with you and taking that out into everything that you do and taking those lows from cancer and making them into the highs, that's what we're all here for. And thank you again to all of the fantastic doctors who are fighting for us and to the Joseph Ahmed Foundation for bringing us all together. Thank you.
Thank you, Ben. So about two nights ago, I called a friend of mine, Michael, and I said to him, hey, Michael, hey, man, can you donate to our gala again? And I know I've been asking you for the last 5-6 events. And he's like, sure, Frank, you know I got you. I'm definitely going to donate. But let me ask you a question. How is my money working for me? What are my donations doing to improve your goal? I said, Mike, actually, do you guys know what we're doing with the money that you're donating tonight? Probably not. Well, I'll tell you what we're doing. My brother and I, who's over there, we're actually going to Atlantic City after this, and we're betting it on red, all of it. 2-to-1 odds, baby. No, I'm kidding. So, seriously. There's a company that was just introduced by Ben by the name of Time. T-Y-M-E, Time Technologies. It's actually a public listed company on the NASDAQ over-the-counter market. So if you guys go home tonight or tomorrow morning, you want to check Yahoo Finance or Google, just put T-Y-M-E and you'll find out a lot about them. Pretty serious company. I'm not giving you financial advice, but it's a publicly listed company, so you can find out all the A, B, C's, and Z's about the company. Anyhow, in April of this year, we actually announced a partnership with Time, who is going to provide their clinical expertise at no cost, at zilch. More importantly than that, they have developed a drug by the name of, and I want you guys to remember this, SM88. 88, SM88. What is SM88? Ben would know better than I do, but I can tell you one thing, that already there has been 2 trials with SM88, and there has been significant improvement with SM88. More importantly, your continued help will help our foundation start our first clinical trial, which, to be honest with you, 2 years ago when Junie sat down in her living room and planned to start this foundation, I would have never imagined that we'd be here today working with a company like Time Technologies and a drug by the name of SM88. The bottom line is, look, it's a clinical trial. It's only going to happen for one reason and one reason only, is because you guys supported us in the last 24 months. You guys are supporting us tonight. You guys are going to support us in the future, and more importantly, Time Technologies is going to support us along with experts like Dr. Shawel, Ben, and everybody else sitting at this middle table here. Again, a clinical trial, that's where your funding is going. It's not a criminal trial, although I think we all would put cancer in a criminal trial, and prosecuted, but again, it's a clinical trial. So I want to thank you, seriously guys, from the bottom of my heart. Thank you for all your donations. The clock is still ticking. Please come along while we talk and make some tickets There's some great sports memorabilia back there. He's an expert on any questions you might have about that. So I'd like you guys to continue to come up. Don't be afraid. And again, thank you for all your love.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Beth Fudel, and I just have to say what a night this is and how special it is that we're all here together to celebrate such a great cause. I am very honored to introduce to you our face of hope tonight, William Benjamin. Will and Joseph met right after Joe's diagnosis while they were hospitalized in December 2014, Joe with Ewing sarcoma and Will with leukemia. Off the bat, their connection was strong. Joe gravitated to Will because, like himself, Will was always optimistic. He was composed about the journey that was ahead of him, and he was oh so wise beyond his years. Both moms, Junie and Elizabeth, often would wonder what the future held for their boys. Well, for Will, finding the perfect bone marrow match to treat his leukemia was the first step. After that, he went on to graduating high school, and this year entering his freshman year of college at NYU. So congratulations. Today, Will and his family have turned what could have been very tragic into triumph and continue to pay it forward, working with Delete Blood Cancer to help others affected by cancer. For all these reasons and more, we celebrate Will for his strength, for his kindness, for his compassion, for his drive, but most of all, for being the epitome of hope. So if everyone could please give William Benjamin a round of applause as I present him tonight with the Face of Hope Award.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. This is for you. Absolutely. And this is for you.
Oh, thank you. Hello, everyone. Pardon my voice. I'm fighting off a little cold. It's such an honor to be here tonight and to be recognized by the Ahmed family. I met Joseph almost 5 years ago on the 9th floor of Memorial Sloan Kettering. Shortly after I was diagnosed with acute myeloid leukemia in December 2013. Because of our shared experience, as well as both being around the same age, we bonded over our respective struggles because we both knew how important it was to have a friend who knows what it's like. Seeing Joseph always brought a smile to my face. His sensitivity and positivity took me away from the dour nature of living on the 9th floor. He took everything in stride, always keeping a hopeful demeanor about everything. It gave me hope, resilience, and a desire to push through all the pain and suffering. If it wasn't for Joseph and all the other people I met during my treatment process, I might not even be standing here today. As I live now, nearly 5 years cancer-free, whenever I struggle, I think about people like Joseph. Thank you. Thank you. Whenever I struggle, I think about people like Joseph. People who, no matter how dire the situation gets, always kept a smile on their face and hope for the future. I will never forget the impact Joseph had on my life, and I'll always keep fighting for him and for all the other young people who are no longer with us on this earth. It's our hope tonight and going forward that the funds raised for the Joseph Ahmed Foundation can save the lives of pediatric Ewing sarcoma patients. And I know that's what Joseph would want. Because no parent, no sibling, no friend, no relative deserves to lose their child, their brother, their sister, their friend to this illness. To reiterate the point of this whole event and the point that several of the speakers have made so far, hope is a really, really powerful thing. Never, never underestimate it.
So what do you think about tonight?
It was a wonderful night of hope, and it was a beautiful night. And I hope we find a cure for cancer.
Yep. Joseph?
الحقيقة النهاردة حاجة جميلة جدا جدا إن الناس اللي بتعاني من الكانسر وفقدت ابنهم العزيز إلى قلوبهم بيحاولوا إنهم يجدوا علاج للكانسر بحيث إن الناس الآخرين ما يعانوش نفس المعاناة بتاعتهم. فدي حاجة رائعة وحاجة من بتدل على المجتمع الأمريكي مجتمع عظيم، وإحنا اتعلمنا منه الكثير وبنرد الجميل للمجتمع ده إن إحنا بنحاول نجد علاج للكانسر اللي هو بيسافر منه آلاف عائلات كثيرة.
What do you think is the initiative that the parents took to try to pull this off together? It's not an easy thing to do after losing a child.
It takes a lot of courage, a lot of faith, a lot of love, a lot of hope.
Thank you very much. Thank you. مستر سعداني قول لنا بقى ايه رأيك النهارده في الايفنت والسبب والكاز؟
النهارده يوم جميل جدا لان احنا هنا بنشجع ونحاول نعمل فند ريزنج لاخونا الاخ ثروت الاورجنايزيشن بتاعت ابنه جوزيف احمد فاونديشن. ابن الاخ ثروت توفى برير كايند اوف كانسر ديزيز، نادر طبعا نادر جدا. فعشان كده احنا هنا بنسبورتهم ونحاول نساعده ونحاول نجمع فلوس بحيث ان الاورجنايزيشن بتاعته دي تقدر تفايند كيور، وده دي مهمتنا. ارجوكم لو اي حد فينا يقدر يساعد ارجوكم ان احنا نيجي نساعد ونعمل دونيشن، عشان هو ده الحل الوحيد اللي احنا نقدر نساعد ونقضي على المرض ده، لان ده المرض ده بينتشر مع اولادنا الصغيرين، واحنا كلنا عندنا اولاد ودي حاجه كبيره علينا ان احنا نفقد اولادنا في السن الصغير ده. فارجوكم لو حد يقدر يساعد فدي تبقى حاجه كويسه وجميله، مش للمجتمع المصري الامريكاني، وكلنا نقدر نساعد. يا ريت كلنا نقدر نساعد طبعا.
اشكرك.
شكرا.
استاذ احمد محارم، راي حضرتك في الايفنت النهارده؟
الايفنت بيدينا مش بس امل، بيدينا شجاعه الامل. كل الناس عندها امل انها تحارب الامراض وتتصدى ليها. تجربه ثروت احمد واسرته في التعامل مع قصتهم الانسانيه المؤلمه لاي اسره تحولت من حزن الى عزيمه ان ازاي يساعدوا الاسر على المستوى المنطقه هنا وعلى مستوى حتى منطقتنا العربيه وبالتحديد مصر، ان يكون في ابحاث تتعمل عشان تجد علاج لسرطان الاطفال من النوع ده اللي من الصعب جدا حاجه كده يكتشفوا. الحقيقه فور ذا لاست 2 years هم عملوا 2 ايفنتس، الثانيه النهارده تثبت قد ايه ان هم جديرين وقادرين على ان هم يحققوا الامل عندهم لشجاعه امل. نشكرهم على الحاصل ده، والكلام اللي قالوه الاطباء الموجودين النهارده يدي روح ايجابيه ان ممكن جدا الابحاث دي تنتقل من هنا لمصر، بحيث ان اي اسره يكون عندها يعني وعي او ارشاد لو ظهرت بوادر المرض ده ممكن يتعاملوا معاه. فاحنا نشكر القائمين على المجهود ده ونشكر شجاعة ثروت وأسرته على التحدي للمرض اللي مر بيه ابنهم، والله يرحم الجميع.
دكتور رضا، أهلا وسهلا بحضرتك.
أهلا بيك يا دكتور مايكل.
إيه رأي حضرتك في الإيفنت النهارده؟
والله حاجة هايلة، يعني احنا مفتقدين للفعاليات دي. يمكن أنا كنت بكلم حضرتك قبل التسجيل في إن ممكن يتعمل حاجات كتير لصالح الناس وصالح خدمة البشرية على هذا المنوال. يعني
أنا سمعت حاجة كده إن حضرتك كنت حاطط لوحة هنا واتباعت برقم كبير للفاونديشن، مش كده؟
هو أنا عامل دونيت بلوحة قيمتها $10,000 وأتمنى إن حد يكون خدها. يعني
اتباعت في وقت قليل سمعت يعني.
الحمد لله، يعني ده حاجة كويسة. يعني ده المفروض الواحد يعمله، يعني كلنا المفروض نساهم.
جميل إن أنت ساهمت باللي تمتلكه وهو فنك يعني.
ما انا ما عنديش يعني فلوس اقدر اقدمها.
حلو جدا. بالعكس
يعني انت كويس ان الناس تقدر تقدر يعني ان احنا نقدم ارت ويشتروه كده.
اشكرك، ويعني ان شاء الله دايما في فعل الخير وحاجات جميله، ونتجمع دايما في افكار تخدم المجتمع وتخدم الاطفال.
اشكرك يا دكتور.
Mr. Eckert, I have the privilege to have you as a representative of Time Technology, right?
Yes, hi, how are you?
I'm good, thanks. Thank you so much for everything you're doing to the foundation and everything you're trying to help. If you can briefly give me a history of how did you get engaged, how Time got engaged with Joseph Foundation.
So Time originally treated the Joseph as part of our compassionate use program for the drug back in about 4 or 5 years ago. Joseph actually had a response from the drug after he had gone through some of the toxic chemotherapy at Memorial Sloan Kettering, such that he was still able to walk a 5K and go to his junior prom. So we have stayed in touch with Junie since then to try to figure out a way of how we could develop SM88, our drug, in Ewing sarcoma. So here tonight, we've been helping support the foundation to get the funds to be able to start a trial. And importantly, tonight, we announced that we are starting that trial soon with a world-renowned sarcoma doctor in order to, it's probably going to be starting around beginning of next year in a Ewing sarcoma, patients who have already failed chemotherapy and metastatic disease, so they really have very few options. And we're going to try this pilot trial in about 15, 20 patients to see if we can see a signal like what we did with Joseph and another patient. And if that's the case, then the company is going to continue this trial into further development to hopefully get another treatment option for these kids.
Would you be able to accept other cases from different parts of the world, like say, for instance, Egypt, if we're able to make some connections where you can get some results or connect directly with the local physicians that can help in your trial?
Yeah, so I mean, right now we have been focused on the U.S. just because we're a very small company. We're only 13 people to run our trials. But our overall goal at time is to help everybody. We really are interested in helping everybody globally. We focus on the U.S. just because we're here and this is a place.
Just makes sense for now.
Correct, but we absolutely are more than open, and we've been working with some people from Israel, for example, and in Europe to hopefully expand to our trials over there. So absolutely open to be working in other places as well.
Well, God bless you guys. I think you're doing a great thing.
جوا منك حلم ممكن يبقى مش باين قوي وانت تايه بين حاجات وعايشها بدماغ فهلاوي عايش بتلعن في الظروف مع ناس هدفها تكون كده ناس قصدها تبقى موقفاك مش عايزة تبقى فيهم قوي شوف واقرا في كتاب التاريخ عمرك ما كنت في يوم غبي ده انت اللي علمت البشر شوف عاش في أرضك كان نبي في ناس بتكره لو تفكر نفسهم فكرك يقف عقدة خواجة بيخلقوها وبيبهروك بالأجنبي الحكاية مش بلون وشكل وهدوء الحكاية إنك قوي رغم الهموم طلع البطل اللي جواك يلا قوم انت تقدر تظبط الأحوال بالظبط
هنشيل بلدنا على كتافنا مش هنسيبها ومش هنضيعها ومش هنخلي حد يقدر يضيعها
بالنكتة بنقابل ظروف من غيرها كنا هنتعسر والطيبة فينا مقصلة وعادات لا يمكن تتكسر بيحاولوا دايما يقتلوا الحاجة اللي تميزك شوف كام سنة من الاحتلال وانت اللي طبع